So you've been hearing me talk about the solar console and how we can interact with it and what it means to resonate with that energy. I hope you guys are enjoying the information. Inside the Transcension Gate membership, I talk in much more detail about our own involvement, sort of what each one of us actually can do to co-create with the solar console. Transcension Gate is a multi-dimensional portal for the solar console and guardian Kadishtu beings and other multi-dimensional consciousnesses to come in to here, to this reality, and to support us as we go along on our own spiritual journey so that we can create a more harmonious, abundant, and purposeful life for ourselves. And inside the Transcension Gate membership, I have different aspects sort of looked at for you guys. Solar Console views human perspective on development in 4 areas: self-love, sovereignty, inner authority, and self-mastery. And this is what we investigate and learn how to go through. It's called Transcension Spiral Path. So if you'd like to find out more, definitely check out the membership. You will get all sorts of details and actual effective steps in how to get to the next level of consciousness and participate with the solar console. So today we will continue talking about what the solar console does, but also what can you do and how it works for us to resonate with it. What does it mean? What can we do to really be a part of the process? So watch this video and find out. I mentioned that there is a continuous broadcast. That's an important piece to remember, because Solar Console constantly works with the upgrades for the entire solar system. Then they are sort of modified for each of the simulations, as in planets, and including the Earth, this simulation. And that means that there is a resonance that gets broadcasted into the center of our planet, into the entity, the star being that our planet is, Pi. And as that happens, this Pi Gaia sort of composite then resonates those upgrades out. So there are 2 ways that the solar console works with our systems. One is a general broadcast that goes out as soon as upgrade of anything is available that's related to a particular simulation and particular group consciousness. Those general broadcasts go into the entities that hold the simulations. In other words, into the planets, which then broadcast it out. So this is the energy that when we tune into the Earth, and it feels like, oh, the energy is a little bit different. It's grounding, but something else is happening. It's holding me differently. I feel stronger. I feel more like I belong, or I feel like it's supporting me in a different way. That is because then the planetary frequency got upgraded a bit. Solar Console is instrumental in that. And another way is what I was saying earlier, is more of a direct approach, that if we work to serve, to the betterment of humankind or a particular group of people that we maybe relate to more, or maybe within our own systems we resonate for some other entities that are not human, like let's say wanting to support nature or help the water elemental being to not be so polluted on this planet, or something like that, that essentially has a good intention in there for support and progress and harmony. That broadcast is automatically in resonance with the solar console frequency range, which means it will be picked up, and kind of like a little piece of data that then goes into a file, like sending a letter or something. And then it will be reviewed by the solar console, and the solar console will choose what to do with it. If this is something that is actually benefiting the planet and it's appropriate and it's the right time, that energy could be amplified. So it could be one individual praying for saving the tigers, and then the tigers are ready, and this person is truly able to hold the range, and a solar console tunes in and say, okay, that works, let's amplify that, and then something happens to adjust in the consciousnesses of people that are doing something negative, like poachers and whatever, and then it actually helps the tiger population. It also could be a group prayer. It could be people resonating together, not necessarily praying, but vibrating something together during broadcasts. This is one of the things I do during the downloads of energy that I do for you guys. That's when we all unite and sort of broadcast out our generally good intention of whatever type of frequency that this particular download is about. And then the solar console can pick that up, amplify it, and support us with that energy. Another way is in a more personal way. When the solar console tunes into a particular frequency overall that people are now ready for, but let's say not particularly who is the person or the entity that's going to hold the energy, they would broadcast this type of frequency out into a particular environment, let's say our simulation planet Earth, third dimension. Now, if you are willing to serve and to hold that frequency in you, which is sort of a way how we can serve overall humankind and work with the solar console, is by holding the energy imprints like a point of reference, or by bringing our body somewhere where it has to be delivered, that imprint that we downloaded into our systems. You might be called then to go travel to a particular location just so you can sit on a rock there for 20 minutes. But that's what the imprint is. That has to then be downloaded into that rock for some reason. So there is a sequence of events, and it gets very complicated, and it's worked in incredible precision as to which person is activated when and what each person is doing. So as long as you're of the range that's capable of doing it and willing to serve, you will end up occasionally being called to do that. That's when sometimes I hear from you guys like saying you had interesting dreams and it didn't feel like it's your own dream and something else happened and it was really big and it felt like you were, supporting something big even if you were not sure what it is. That would be an example of working with the solar console. Another example would be if you are sort of meditating or in some state when you're off your regular personality consciousness and you're in a higher frequency consciousness of yourself. And then you get this energy download and it feels like, whoa, I just got this gift. Something that came into your system. You might not know what it is, and it will definitely have some personal component for each person for whom that was delivered. But it also would have kind of a bigger component, as in something that once you have integrated that, now you can broadcast it out. Which means as you're walking through your regular life, you're the light being. You are the light being, as in literally being light. You're broadcasting different frequency into your environment. For your family, for your loved ones, whoever you naturally connect with and have strings of energy that sort of link you to, but also to everybody else that you come in contact with, as long as you're open-hearted and, remain with this high-frequency energy within your system. So this is how we work with the solar console energy, even if it's not fully conscious, even if not everybody can show up and be in a solar console meeting, it would not be necessary. What is necessary, though, is that each one of us can do our part in supporting this higher 3D space that we're building, the syntropic system of a more harmonious environment that is in alignment with universal laws of harmony and balance and resonance and abundance, which then can help the human soul group wake up. It gives them a point of reference of another choice than the one they have been choosing for a long time, which included victim consciousness. So we each can do our part by doing our work, by making sure our system is ready to receive those downloads that come in. So when we are called, because we're vibrating at the frequency and it's our turn, we actually can hold it in our system and say, yes, I'm doing this. And it's not always conscious. So if you're wondering about like, oh, how can I serve? You are serving if you're doing your work. As long as you're working on yourself and making sure you are harmonious and not in a lower 3D entrapment consciousness, you are essentially doing your work, because that means automatically you're already at the frequency range when the solar console can resonate with you, which means you will be essentially a broadcasting station for higher frequencies, which do change this planetary environment into a much more harmonious one eventually. So here we are. So do your part and be love and be free and be God. We each are God's source. Little sparks of it, but we each are God.